After all, the appearance of Charlie subverted the cognition of the master and apprentice, and brought a heavy blow to their enthusiasm. However, Yamamoto Kazuki still hopes Nanako can play well. Even if she couldn't win the championship this time, with her strength, it would be fine to win a runner-up. However, if she does not perform well, the runner-up may not be able to get it. Fortunately, he found through the video that Nanako is nothing different from usual. Nanako herself is not the kind of player who is particularly excited, so she is usually very quiet before the competition and likes to close her eyes and rest like she is now. Seeing that the time was almost up, Tanaka Hiroichi spoke. "Miss, you will enter the venue in 5 minutes." Nanako opened her eyes and nodded gently. "I see." Koichi Tanaka said again, "Miss, I'm talking on video with Coach Yamamoto. Do you have anything else to ask him?" With that, he immediately switched the camera and pointed the phone screen at Nanako. At this time, Nanako saw the weak Yamamoto Kazuki on the hospital bed and said respectfully, "Master, how are you feeling now?" Yamamoto Kazuki laughed at himself. "My biggest problem is that I don't feel it now." Nanako hurriedly apologized and said, "I'm sorry, Master, I didn't mean it." Yamamoto Kazuki smiled slightly and said, "It's okay, I have already accepted my fate." As he said, he raised his voice a little bit, and said bluntly, "Nanako, today's game is very important to you. Whether you can get the silver medal or not depends on whether you can win this game. Being a teacher is not a blow to you, but you are probably not Aoshui's opponent, but as long as you agree to this game, the silver medal will already be in your pocket. The rule of the top 4 matches is to fight in pairs, the 2 who win compete for the championship, and the 2 who lose compete for 3rd place. In other words, as long as Nanako wins today, she will at least have the silver medal for the runner-up." When Nanako heard this, she nodded seriously, and said, "Master, I know that I am not Aoshui's opponent, but I will definitely work hard to finish every remaining game, and will never bring shame." Yamamoto Kazuki said with satisfaction, "Very well, if this game is won, and in the next game you will face Aoshui. At that time, you will not only go all out, but also let Charlie look at you with admiration, and then take advantage of Aoshui's match. If you have a chance, you will ask Charlie to accept you as a disciple." Nanako smiled bitterly. "Master Charlie cannot accept me as a disciple." Yamamoto Kazuki said puzzledly, "In my opinion, a talented apprentice like you will never be refused. Charlie must be the same." "Why would he refuse you?" Nanako shook her head and said, "Just because I am Japanese." "What?" Yamamoto Kazuki frowned and asked, "Charlie looks down on us?" Nanako said, "It's not that he looks down on us, but he said that the Chinese have taught too many Japanese, but the Japanese have been avenging revenge for 200 or 300 years. So." When Yamamoto Kazuki heard this, he couldn't help but sighed and said, "Charlie is a master of real high-end martial arts. Before we have seen his strength, we just sit and watch the sky, but after seeing his strength, if we don't have a chance to practice. His kind of high-end martial arts really feels that he has been practicing in vain for so many years." Nanako is also very sorry in her heart. Knowing that she was sitting in the well and watching the sky, what she wanted most was to jump out of this well, but Charlie didn't give her this opportunity. Yamamoto Kazuki saw her look down and hurriedly calmed down. "Nanako, it's not the time to consider this issue. You will win this game first, and we will discuss the rest." Nanako nodded heavily, and immediately said to Yamamoto Kazuki, "Master, then I will be on the stage. Go." Yamamoto Kazuki encouraged, "This game must go all out, whether Charlie is willing to accept you as a disciple. You must let him see your strength, so in this game, you play as beautifully as possible." "Beautifully?" "Yes," Yamamoto Kazuki said firmly. "Nanako, the last time Aoshui defeated Joanna with a single move, she was very popular on the internet. I hope you will do your best when you play and give your opponent no chance. Control the enemy with one move." Nanako sighed. "Master, Michelle is the 2nd seed. We have played against each other before. Although I have beaten her every time, I cannot avoid a fierce battle every time. It is difficult to defeat her with one move." Yamamoto Kazuki said, "If you can't control the enemy with one move, you have to do your best to defeat her in the first game. You want Charlie to see your strength and let him look at you with admiration. Even if it is impossible for him to accept you as a disciple in his life, you must let him know that your talent is far above Aoshui. Not accepting you as a disciple is his loss, not yours." Nanako immediately resolutely said, "Okay, master." 1 minute later. The 4 players participating in the semi-finals are already waiting to play in their respective channels. Aoshui and Nanako coincided with the same mentality. They must do their best to win with one move. Let Charlie look at them with admiration. After the host finished his opening remarks, he first announced, "First of all, let's invite our Chinese player, Aoshui." Aoshui took a deep breath and stepped out of the passage first. Subsequently, the host announced, "Next, I will invite Aoshui's opponent this time, the Australian player Victoria." As soon as the voice fell, a blonde Australian female player also walked out of the passage. The Australian player's expression was a bit nervous, and the overall momentum was much weaker than Aoshui. It can be seen that she should have no confidence in today's game. Then, the host called Nanako's name and her opponent, Michelle from the United States. Nanako and Michelle are both very calm, and their eyes are full of desire to win this game.